From a flicker of candlelight in 1789 to the glare of modern screens in the West Wing, every president has held the pen. Executive orders not passed by Congress, but etched into law by command. Some shaped history. Some sparked controversy. Others were forgotten. Until now. This is where we break them down. Every signature, every shift in power, every consequence still felt today. From Washington to Biden, welcome to Executive Order Watch.
Democracy, we live for it. For democracy, we fight for it. For democracy, we've died for it. And for democracy, we watch it. This is Executive Order
My
Watch.
fellow Americans, the year 1955 stands as a testament to both the resilience and the resolve of this great nation. We found ourselves standing on the edge of a new age, challenged by threats abroad, inspired by progress at home, and bound by a shared commitment to peace, strength, and liberty abroad. The world watched closely as the Cold War persisted. We stood firm, not with bluster, but with clarity and purpose. The signing of the Warsaw Pact by Eastern Bloc nations underscored the division of our world. Yet we did not falter. We reaffirmed our alliances, strengthened our partnerships, and made clear that the United States would stand as a bulwark of freedom wherever it was tested. At home, we were reminded that true strength lies in our people. In Montgomery, Alabama, when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus, it stirred the conscience of a nation. Her quiet act of defiance was heard across the land, and it marked a moment that would accelerate the march toward civil rights. 1955 also brought scientific marvels. The successful testing of the Redstone rocket launched our path toward space exploration, laying a foundation for what would one day become NASA. And in laboratories across America, the polio vaccine developed by Dr. Jonas Salk began reaching millions of children, bringing hope where fear had once lived. These events were not isolated. They reflected a deeper spirit that guided us throughout the year. As your president, I remained guided by principles that are unchanging: responsibility without overreach, strength without provocation, unity without conformity. I believed then, as I do now, that good governance requires humility, steady leadership, and faith in the American people. We moved to make our government more efficient and more accountable. We invested in infrastructure, in education, and in defense, while keeping the budget balanced. We encouraged innovation while protecting liberty. We supported those seeking opportunity while ensuring that no group stood above the law. The role of the presidency is not to shout the loudest, but to listen the closest, to bring calm where there is chaos and clarity where there is confusion. In 1955, America did not merely endure it, advanced. We looked to the stars, we healed the sick, we heard the cries for justice, and we responded not perfectly, not all at once, but with courage and with purpose. Let history record not only what we did, but how we did it, with discipline, with dignity, with devotion to the democratic ideals that define us still. Thank you, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Executive Order 10,585, designating the date of termination of combatant activities in Korea and waters adjacent thereto on January 1st, 1955. Executive Order 10,586, designating certain officers to act as Secretary of the Treasury on January 13th, 1955. Executive Order 10,587, administration of Section 32H of the Trading with the Enemy Act on January 13th, 1955. Executive Order 10,588, establishing the President's Commission on Veterans Pensions on January 14th, 1955. Executive Order 10,589 Amendment of Executive Order Number 6,783 of June 30th, 1934, creating the Quetico Superior Committee on January 15th, 1955. Executive Order 10,590, establishing the President's Committee on Government Employment Policy on January 18th, 1955. Executive Order 10,591, waiving the age requirements to permit Otto K. Olesen to compete in the competitive civil service examination for the position of postmaster at Los Angeles, California on January 20th, 1955. Executive Order 10,592, Amendment of Executive Order Number 10,524 of March 31st, 1954, delegating certain functions of the President respecting school construction assistance on January 21st, 1955, Executive Order 10,593, amending Executive Order Number 10,296, as amended, to authorize the Director of the Office of Defense Mobilization to perform additional functions of the President on January 27th, 1955. Executive Order 10,594, amending the Selective Service Regulations on January 31st, 1955. Executive Order 10,595, amendment of Executive Order Number 9,746 of July 1st, 1946, relating to the Panama Canal and the Canal Zone on February 7th, 1955. Executive Order 10,596, revocation of Executive Order Number 9,908 of December 5th, 1947, on February 15th, 1955. Executive Order 10,597, providing for the restoration of certain lands to Kaakokukui, Honolulu, Hawaii, to the jurisdiction of the Territory of Hawaii, and transfer of title thereto to the Territory on February 15th, 1955. Executive Order 10,598, amending Executive Order Number 10,483, establishing the Operations Coordinating Board on February 28, 1955. Executive Order 10,599, designating the Honorable A. Cecil Snyder to act, under certain circumstances, as Judge of the United States District Court for the District of Puerto Rico. During the year 1955, on March 15, 1955, Executive Order 10,600, amending Executive Order Number 9,260 of October 29, 1942, entitled Legion of Merit, on March 15, 1955. Executive Order 10,601, administration of commodity, set aside on March 21, 1955. Executive Order 10,602, designating the Secretary of the Interior as the representative of the President to approve the obligation and expenditure of certain monies by the government of the Virgin Islands on March 23, 1955. Executive Order 10,603, amendment of Executive Order Number 10,309, providing for the restoration of possession, use, and control of certain lands reserved for military purposes to the Territory of Hawaii, and transfer of Title II on April 19, 1955. Executive Order 10,604, delegating to the Director of the Bureau of the Budget the authority of the President to approve regulations relating to the operation of vending stands on federal property by blind persons on April 22, 1955. Executive Order 10,605, amendment of Executive Order Number 1,119 of March 27, 1950, prescribing regulations governing the payment of basic allowances for subsistence to members of the uniformed services on April 22, 1955. Executive Order 10,606, inspection of income, excess profits, declared value excess profits, capital stock, estate, and gift tax returns by the Senate Committee Government Operations on May 3, 1955. Executive Order 10,607, inspection of income, excess profits, declared value excess profits, capital stock, estate, and gift tax returns by the Committee on Government Operations, House of Representatives, on May 3, 1955, Executive Order 10,608, United States Authority and Functions in Germany, on May 5, 1955. Executive Order 10,609, delegating to the Secretary of State authority to appoint alternate United States commissioners to the Caribbean Commission, on May 7, 1955. Executive Order 10,610, Administration of Mutual Security and Related Functions, on May 9, 1955. Executive Order 10,611, establishing the Civil Defense Coordinating Board and defining its duties, on May 11, 1955. Executive Order 10,612, restoring certain lands reserved for military purposes to the jurisdiction of the Territory of Hawaii, on May 11, 1955. Executive Order 10,613, amendment of Executive Order Number 10,393 of September 4, 1952, establishing the Clemency and Parole Board for War Criminals, on May 16, 1955. Executive Order 10,614, regulations governing the payment of general average contributions in connection with the transportation of certain baggage and household goods and effects of military and civilian personnel, on May 25, 1955. Executive Order 10,615, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between certain carriers represented by the Eastern, Western, and Southeastern Carriers Conference Committees and certain of their employees, on June 17, 1955. Executive Order 10,616, suspension of certain provisions of the Officer Personnel Act of 1947, as amended, which relates to officers of the Marine Corps of the grade of Brigadier General, on June 21, 1955. Executive Order 10,617, suspension of the operation of certain provisions of the Officer Personnel Act of 1947, applicable to the retirement of colonels of the Regular Army on June 28, 1955. Executive Order 10,618, amendment of Executive Order Number 10,152, prescribing regulations relating to the right of members of the uniformed services to incentive pay for the performance of hazardous duty required by competent on June 28, 1955. Executive Order 10,619, inspection of individual income tax returns by the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare on June 29, 1955. Executive Order 10,620, inspection of income, excess profits, declared value, excess profits, capital stock, estate, and gift tax returns by the Senate Committee on the Judiciary on July 1, 1955. Executive Order 10,621, delegation of certain functions of the President to the Secretary of Defense on July 1, 1955. Executive Order 10,622, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between the Railway Express Agency, Inc. and certain of its employees on July 1, 1955. Executive Order 10,623, amendment of certain provisions of executive orders. Number 10,000 and number 10,011, as amended, pertaining to salary differentials and allowances for officers and employees of the Foreign Service serving on July 23, 1955. Executive Order 10,624, regulations relating to personnel of the Department of Agriculture assigned to service abroad on July 28, 1955. Executive Order 10,625, further providing for the administration of foreign aid functions on August 2, 1955. Executive Order 10,626, establishment of the Interdepartmental Committee for Voluntary Payroll Savings Plan for the purchase of United States savings bonds on August 4, 1955. Executive Order 10,627, inspection of income, excess profits, declared value excess profits, capital stock, estate, and gift tax returns by the Committee on Un-American Activities, House of Representatives on August 5, 1955, Executive Order 10,628, restoring limitations upon punishments for violations of Articles 82, 85, 86.3, 87, 90, 91, 1, and 2, 113, and 115 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice on August 5, 1955. Executive Order 10,629, authorizing enlistments in the Ready Reserve of the Army Reserve and Marine Corps Reserve on August 13, 1955. Executive Order 10,630, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between the New York Central System, Lines East, and certain of its employees on August 13, 1955. Executive Order 10,631, Code of Conduct for Members of the Armed Forces of the United States on August 17, 1955. Executive Order 10,632, suspension of certain provisions of the Officer Personnel Act of 1947 as amended, which relate to the promotion of officers of the Medical Corps and Dental Corps of the Navy on August 19, 1955. Executive Order 10,633, establishing an airspace reservation over the Las Vegas Project, Las Vegas, Nevada, on August 19, 1955. Executive Order 10,634, providing for loans to aid in the reconstruction, rehabilitation, and replacement of facilities which are destroyed or damaged by a major disaster and which are required for national defense on August 25, 1955. Executive Order 10,635, creating an emergency board to investigate a dispute between the Pennsylvania Railroad and certain of its employees on September 1, 1955. Executive Order 10,636, amendment of Executive Order number 10,000 of September 16, 1948, prescribing regulations governing additional compensation and credit granted. Certain employees of the federal government serving on September 16, 1955, Executive Order 10,637, delegating to the Secretary of the Treasury certain functions of the President relating to the United States Coast Guard on September 16, 1955, Executive Order 10,638, authorizing the Director of the Office of Defense Mobilization to order the release of strategic and critical materials from stockpiles in the event of an attack upon the United States on October 10, 1955, Executive Order 10,639, amendment of the Tariff of United States Foreign Service Fees on October 10, 1955, Executive Order 10,640, the President's Committee on Employment of the Physically Handicapped on October 10, 1955, Executive Order 10,641, amending the Civil Service Rules by adding Rule 8. Appointments to overseas positions on October 26, 1955, Executive Order 10,642, suspending certain statutory provisions relating to employment in the Canal Zone on October 26, 1955. Executive Order 10,643, creating an emergency board to investigate disputes between the Albany Port District Railroad and other carriers and certain of their employees on November 7, 1955. Executive Order 10,644, administration of Title II of the International Claims Settlement Act of 1949, as amended, relating to the vesting and liquidation of Bulgarian, Hungarian, and Romanian property on November 7, 1955. Executive Order 10,645, amendment of Executive Order number 9 of January 17, 1873, to permit an officer or employee of the federal government to hold the office of member of the State Board of Agriculture of the state of on November 22, 1955. Executive Order 10,646, designating the Secretary of Defense to coordinate and facilitate actions required to discharge federal responsibilities under the Federal Voting Assistance Act of 1955 on November 22, 1955. Executive Order 10,647, providing for the appointment of certain persons under the Defense Production Act of 1950 as amended on November 28, 1955, Executive Order 10,648, restoring certain lands comprising portions of the Fort Ruger Military Reservation to the jurisdiction of the Territory of Hawaii on December 8, 1955. Executive Order 10,649, amendment of Executive Order number 10,153, prescribing regulations relating to certain travel time of members of the uniformed services called to active duty in excess of 30 days on December 28, 1955.
Good evening,
Pizza,
folks.
where we deliver happiness one slice at a time. What's your craving today?
Yeah, hi. Is Seymour there?
Oh, Seymour. I think he might be busy making our special pies. But hey, why not swing by the pizzeria? We've got a pie with your name on it. Anything else I can help you with?
I was looking for Seymour Butts.
Ah, I see. Well, if you're looking for Seymour Butts, he might be hiding behind a pepperoni slice. Anything else I can do for you today?
No, that's it.
Hi, I'm Terrence, a marketing professional with a passion for helping your business grow smarter and faster. Here at Da Bomb Digital Media, based right here in Atlanta, Georgia, we specialize in bringing your vision to life. Whether you're launching your first website or reimagining your entire digital presence, we've got you covered. From modern website design and search engine optimization to setting up your own AI-powered agency tools, we deliver innovative solutions that keep you ahead of the curve. Ready to unlock your business's full potential? Let's build something remarkable together. For more information, visit our YouTube channel. Just search Da Bomb Digital Media on YouTube and start exploring tips, success stories, and everything you need to elevate your brand.
Good evening, folks. Today we take a look back 70 years to the year 1955, a pivotal chapter in our American story and a time of great movement on the world stage. President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a soldier turned statesman, was in his third year in office, steering a post-war America through Cold War tensions, civil unrest, and a changing world economy. Now, I've spent time reviewing the executive orders President Eisenhower signed that year, nearly 70 of them, and it's clear many of those decisions, some you've never heard of, still shape our institutions, our laws, and our responsibilities as a government today. These weren't just bureaucratic measures. They were responses to real national needs: civil defense, military justice, Cold War diplomacy, veterans' welfare, foreign aid, and even the rights and rehabilitation of the physically handicapped. Top 10 executive orders of 1955 and their lasting impact. EO 10631, Code of Conduct for Members of the Armed Forces. This defined the moral and legal expectations for our troops. Still taught in today's basic training, still central to our military values. EO 10610, Administration of Mutual Security and Related Functions, structured America's foreign aid during the Cold War. You see echoes of this in modern USAID operations and NATO cooperation. EO 10604, Vending Stand Authority for the Blind, gave blind Americans access to self-employment on federal property. That model of empowerment lives on in today's accessibility programs. EO 10645, loosening 19th century restrictions on federal employees, modernized government ethics and conflict of interest policy, opened the door for more flexible, realistic governance. EO 10590, establishing the President's Committee on Government Employment Policy, a milestone in the march toward equal opportunity in federal hiring. You better believe we're still fighting for fairness. EO 10626, establishing the Voluntary Payroll Savings Plan Committee. Strengthen the culture of savings and citizenship through U.S. bonds, ideas that evolved into modern retirement policy. EO 10638, releasing strategic materials in a national emergency. This was Cold War survival planning, but it laid the foundation for modern strategic stockpiles, especially visible during the COVID-19 pandemic. EO 10647, appointments under the Defense Production Act, allowed critical personnel hiring during industrial mobilization, still referenced in emergency manufacturing policy. EO 10608, United States authority and functions in Germany, signaled shifting U.S. posture in post-war Europe, paved way for West Germany's sovereignty and future NATO leadership. EO 10614, regulating general average contributions for transported military goods, unsexy but essential, provided clarity for defense logistics and compensation during military deployments. 1955, a year of American transition. 1955 wasn't just about paper and signatures. It was a year that shook the world. Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat in Montgomery, Alabama. That act of courage sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, launching the modern civil rights movement and inspiring generations to come. Jonas Salk's polio vaccine began widespread distribution, changing public health forever, reminding us of what science, trust, and public cooperation can do. In the Cold War arena, the U.S. and Soviet Union engaged in escalating arms tests, while the Warsaw Pact was formed, drawing Eastern Europe deeper into Soviet control. The Vietnam War quietly escalated. President Eisenhower supported South Vietnam, laying groundwork for the conflict we'd fully face in the 1960s. The first McDonald's opened, the first televised presidential news conference aired, and America's suburbs expanded like never before. Global shifts. The death of Albert Einstein in Princeton, New Jersey reminded us that this was still a century of towering minds and fragile peace. In Indonesia, the Bandung Conference launched the non-aligned movement, reshaping global diplomacy outside the U.S.-Soviet binary. Final reflection. So what does all this mean today? It means progress doesn't always look like a revolution. Sometimes it looks like a rule book for soldiers, a hiring policy, a signature on a clause about military baggage. But it all adds up. President Eisenhower's executive orders in 1955 were building blocks of fairness, of strength, of readiness, and of responsibility. We honor the past not just by remembering, but by continuing the work. Thanks for taking this walk through history with me. Let's keep going. Let's keep building.
Some write history with blood, some with laws, but the sharpest stroke comes from the pen. Executive power ain't just a tool, it's a weapon wielded by the few, affecting the many. They sign it, we live it. They order it, we obey it. Here, watching, digging, remembering, from the plantation to the proclamation, from internment camps to civil rights stands, from surveillance laws to student loan draws. Porter can change your life, and you might not even know it, but now you do. So stay locked in, stay woke, stay sharp. We ain't just talking about power, we tracking it. Executive Order Watch, and we ain't blinking.